Hi, I'm Aidan, and these are the memoirs of an all-round angler. Today we have another classroom fishing episode. Today I'm going to show you how to make a rig. This is a pulley rig, but it's not the standard pulley rig with a single hook, and it's not the same as a pulley pennel, which is 2 hooks. This is a livebait variant of the pulley rig, mainly used for cod and bass, because they really like livebait. And so obviously it's a good rig for the autumn when you've got big bass and big cod coming around. So what gear do you need for it, essentially, for making the actual rig? Well, it's a pulley rig, so what you're going to need either a lead clip, which has a bait clip on it, or you're going to have to use leads with a bait clip. Now, you also need 2 swivels, 2 beads, and you're going to need a very big hook, and then you're going to want a nice small hook. I've got a size 2 here. You're also going to need some line, obviously. I've started using this UK Hooks Marlin Mono, which is, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about the blue marlin, is what people are calling it, blue marlin mono. And I thought, should we give some of these lines a go? So I went over to UK Hooks on their website, and I ordered some clear mono, because that's what I like to use for my rig building. I mean, I don't believe it makes a huge difference in catch rates, but it's just that psychological thing, that confidence thing. So I ordered the clear mono. I've got it in 42 pounds, which is 0.6 millimeters, and I've got it in 70 pounds, which is 0.8 millimeters. So good strong lines. It's got a nice abrasion resistance, but it still ties quite nicely. So I'm quite impressed with it, to be honest, at the moment. And it's relatively cheap, so can't complain really. And you're also going to need scissors, and you might want a lighter and a set of pliers to pull your knots tight. To start making the rig, get your lead clip and 4 feet of your 70-pound line and tie the lead clip onto one end. I use a 3-turn grinner knot here. It's a good, reliable knot. I've made another video about it if you want to see how to tie it properly. And here I tie the knot. It can be a bit fiddly from time to time, but I do manage it this time round. And then get a good little bit of saliva and just dab it onto the knot before you pull it tight. Now, got the saliva on there, and you can see it ties down beautifully. You can use a pair of pliers to pull the lead clip tight, but often it slips, as you see there. I use a lead instead and put a lead onto the clip, and it provides good grip. Now cut the tag end off, just to keep everything nice and neat. You can blob the tag end on that if you want. Now that's our 70-pound line and our lead clip. Now on the other end of that line, that 4-foot length of line, slide on your first bead. There we go. And then slide on your swivel, one of the swivels, the strongest of the swivels if you have one strong swivel, one weak. And then, as you can see, the bead and the swivel are freely running on the line. And now put on your second bead. So you have bead, swivel, bead. And then on the end of this length of line, tie on the swivel, your second swivel, with a 3-turn grinner knot or a half blood knot or a tucked blood knot, depending on which you prefer. And then of course use a bit of saliva. So far you should have a lead clip on a piece of 70-pound line, and then on that line a bead, a swivel and a bead all running freely, and then tie on this swivel here. And then grab some pliers, give the swivel a good pull, just to make sure everything's nice and secure. Now we're doing the hook length. We've got our 40-pound clear Marlin Mono from UK Hooks, 40 pounds. And then take a length of about 2 feet. Tie on your smaller hook with a half blood knot or a 3-turn grinner knot. I've used a 3-turn grinner knot here because I prefer that knot. Can be a bit fiddly, as I mentioned before. And today I did struggle with it. I kept using too short a tag end. But there we go, the knot's nicely forming. And then put a bit of saliva on there, as always. And then pull it tight. Of course, trim the tag ends, make everything nice and neat. make sure you put your tag ends in the bin once they've been chopped. Now get your big hook, and what you're going to do is you're going to tie a knotless knot with the big hook, and you'll see how I do that in a moment. So now, yep, here we go. Take the line, you've passed it through the loop, and then you simply wrap the line around the shank of the hook up to about 8 or 9 times, and then pass it back through the loop. So there's no real knot in here, but it is nice and secure. It's used a lot in carp fishing. It's just a case of getting it right. There we go. So you've passed it back through the loop, and then give it a good pull tight. You do need to make sure you pull it tight, and then there you go. That's the hooking arrangement complete. Now we have the hook length, the 40-pound hook length, and then what we're going to do is going to tie it onto the last swivel that we put onto the main bit of 70-pound line. I'm tying it on with a 3-turn grinner knot. Don't forget, always put some saliva on there, make sure everything goes in properly. I didn't do it that time, and I'll probably pay the price for it one day, but we will see. There we go. Now I'm going to blob the knots here. Be careful, flame is hot, don't burn yourself, and if you're a child, get some adult supervision, or ask your parents if they're happy with it. I don't want angry parents having a go at me. So here I'm just blobbing the knot, and there we go. That's nice and secure, and there we go. That's your rig. It's done. Right, that's how you make the rig. I hope you understood that. It might sound a bit complicated depending on how experienced you are and how much you've fished before and how many rigs you've made. In reality, I think the most complex bit is the hooking arrangement. And you might not really get what I mean, or you might get what I mean, it depends. The way the rig works is, from a catching fish point of view, this sits here. You've got this little hook up here and this big hook here. You see that? Now essentially what happens is, the only bit of bait you put on is a small piece of worm, squid, a little bit of mackerel or bluey, or a small bait on this tiny, well, small size 2 to size 1.0 hook, okay? Now what happens is, that's sitting there in the water wafting about, smells quite nice. A little fish has taken this small hook here. It's, flapping around in the water, creating loads of distress signals. Naturally, predators will look for injured fish. So this fish will be acting like an injured fish because it's stuck on something. And then the big fish will come along, great big massive fish, takes a small fish and grabs the big hook as well, because the small fish is so close to that massive hook. Now, how does the rig work for casting? So you may have noticed there was a swivel that I didn't actually tie on. I just put the line through the middle and that was it, and that's got 2 beads next to it. Your main line, so the line coming from your rod, clips onto here. Now this is a sliding arrangement here, and so this swivel can slide up and down the line, okay? I've got the swivel in my left hand here. Slides up and down the line. So, for fishing, you noticed our clip has a little hook on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see that there. What happens is, you put your small hook with your bait onto that clip there. Do that again. Small hook onto the little clip, so that your bait is all streamlined behind your lead. And then your swivel ends up at the top here, and that clips onto your rod. So then for casting, that's a very streamlined package. Now you might be thinking, but that doesn't, what happens if for actually catching fish, because that hook's on a clip, it's not going to be very good. As soon as this hits the water, so I cast it, it's flying, it hits the water. Because of the slack line, when it hits the water, the hook will automatically jump off the clip, and then your rig is fishing as it should be. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, comment on the video and subscribe. The channel's doing really well at the moment. I've just hit over 8,000 views, which is, you know, that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that, 8,000 views. So thanks for all the kind comments, thanks for all the support, and hopefully, if you do use this rig and you catch some fish on it, send me a message or leave a comment down in the description detailing about all the fish you caught on the rig, or any rigs that you might want me to do in a future video, in a future classroom fishing episode. So, thanks for watching, tight lines, and I'll see you next time.